While you're worried about wrinkles, smart women your age are becoming irresistible using these psychology tricks that younger women don't even know exist. And if you're wondering what exactly those irresistible qualities are and how to embody them with ease and authenticity, you're in the right place. I'm Vernon. In this video, I'll share 5 things men quietly find beautiful in a woman, especially men who are ready for depth, not games. Beauty isn't lost with age, it's misunderstood. We've been sold the lie that attractiveness peaks at 25 and fades like yesterday's flowers. But the men worth having, the ones who've lived and learned what matters, aren't looking for perfection. They're looking for a woman who's discovered who she truly is. If you're ready to rediscover what makes you undeniably magnetic and explore powerful tips on dating, love, and connection after 60, hit that like button and subscribe before we dive in. What I'm about to share will change how you see yourself forever. So what exactly do men notice when they're done chasing surface-level beauty? Let's begin with the first. Number 1, authenticity. A woman who's fully herself. The first thing that makes a woman beautiful to a man isn't her perfect smile or flawless skin. It's her refusal to pretend to be someone she's not. Real men, the ones who've been around the block and know the difference between performance and presence, are magnetically drawn to women who no longer shapeshift to be liked. There's something deeply attractive about a woman who's done with the exhausting game of being what others expect. You see, authenticity is confidence in its purest form. When you stop apologizing for your quirks, your opinions, your way of seeing the world, when you stop dimming your light to make others comfortable, you become irresistible. Not because you're trying to be, but because you're finally fully yourself. I've watched women transform the energy of entire rooms simply by showing up as they are. No masks, no scripts, no carefully curated versions of themselves, just raw, honest, beautiful truth. And men, they notice. They're drawn to it like moths to flame, because in a world full of pretense, authenticity is revolutionary. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment, as Ralph Waldo Emerson once said. And there's nothing more beautiful than a woman who's accomplished exactly that. Share this with a woman who's done pretending and looks even more beautiful because of it. But it's not just how you show up, it's how you make him feel that truly lingers.
Number 2, emotional warmth. The ability to make a man feel safe to feel. Some women don't need to raise their voice to command attention. Their presence alone shifts the energy in the room. Eileen was one of those women. She was 60 when I met her, silver-haired and soft-spoken, working as a librarian in our small town. Her laugh was gentle, her words were few, but something magical happened whenever she was around. Every man, from the teenage boys doing homework to the retired veterans reading newspapers, seemed to relax in her presence. She never chased attention, never tried to impress. She simply had this gift of making others feel chosen just by being still. Men would linger at her desk longer than necessary, not because they were flirting, but because being near her felt like coming home. What Eileen possessed was emotional warmth, the ability to create space where others could simply be human. In our harsh, competitive world, this is rarer than diamonds and more precious than gold. Most men spend their lives in emotional armor. They're taught to be strong, to solve problems, to never show weakness. But with the right woman, a woman like Eileen, those walls come down. Not because she demands it, but because she makes vulnerability feel safe. This kind of warmth isn't about being a people pleaser or sacrificing your own needs. It's about possessing such inner security that you can hold space for another person's full humanity without losing yourself in the process. It's about being the kind of woman where a man doesn't have to perform or prove, he can just be. The best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them, Ernest Hemingway wrote. And masculine men don't stay where they're admired, they stay where they're at peace. And once he feels safe, what he falls for next is how you carry yourself.
Number 3. Self-possession. A woman who doesn't need to prove her worth. Eleanor Roosevelt once observed, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." And she understood something profound about feminine power. There's a quiet magnetism that radiates from a woman who knows her own worth. Not the kind that shouts for attention, but the kind that speaks in whispers and commands rooms. This is self-possession, and it's devastatingly beautiful to men who've outgrown the need for conquest and developed a taste for substance. Self-possession isn't about perfection. It's not about having everything figured out or never feeling uncertain. It's about carrying yourself with the knowledge that your value isn't up for debate, isn't contingent on anyone else's approval, or certainly isn't determined by your age, your weight, or how well you match society's narrow definition of desirable. High-value men, the ones who've lived enough to know what matters, are drawn to this quality like iron to a magnet. They've dated the women who need constant reassurance, who apologize for existing, who contort themselves into impossible shapes, hoping to be chosen. And they've learned that those relationships, however passionate they might start, eventually become exhausting. But a woman who possesses herself, she's different. She doesn't need to prove she's worthy of love because she already knows she is. She doesn't chase because she understands that anything worth having will recognize her value and choose to stay. She doesn't dim her light to make others comfortable because she knows her brightness is a gift, not a threat. This self-possession becomes more beautiful with age, not less. Every line on your face is proof that you've lived. Every gray hair is evidence of wisdom earned. Every moment you choose to stand in your own power, you become more radiant, not despite your years, but because of them. Still, it's not just about who you are alone, but who you are in relationship that defines rare beauty. Number 4. Gracious boundaries. She loves deeply, but doesn't lose herself. What most people misunderstand about love is that they think it means becoming one person, melting into each other until individual identity disappears. But the most beautiful women I've known love differently. They love fully, completely, generously, but they never abandon themselves in the process. Love is not about possession. Love is about appreciation, as Osho wisely said. Gracious boundaries, this is perhaps the most misunderstood form of beauty. It's not about building walls or keeping people at arm's length. It's about loving someone enough to remain yourself, because that's who they fell in love with in the first place. A woman with gracious boundaries says yes when she means yes, and no when she means no.
She doesn't sacrifice her friendships, her interests, her dreams on the altar of romance. She doesn't become a smaller version of herself to make room for his ego. Instead, she teaches him how to treat her without saying a word, simply by treating herself with respect. This kind of woman is unforgettable because she solves a puzzle most men don't even realize they're trying to figure out. How do I love someone without losing myself? How do I be in relationship without disappearing? She shows them by example that it's not only possible, it's the only way love truly works. Men find this incredibly attractive because it removes the pressure. They don't have to worry about accidentally crushing her spirit or walking on eggshells around her feelings. They know she'll speak up, she'll advocate for herself, she'll maintain her own center of gravity. This doesn't make her difficult, it makes her trustworthy. What's the most important boundary you've learned to set in relationships? Share your experience in the comments below. I'd love to hear your wisdom. And finally, perhaps the most surprising thing men find beautiful, even if they don't have words for it.
Number 5. Playful lightness. She still knows how to laugh. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing, George Bernard Shaw once wrote. And he captured something essential about timeless beauty. My old friend, Julia, was 63, recently widowed, and had spent most of her adult life being the responsible one, the caregiver, the problem solver, the one who held everything together. By nature, she was serious, contemplative, someone who carried the weight of the world on her shoulders. Then came her grandson's 4th birthday party. The music was too loud, the cake was too sweet, and somehow, maybe it was the joy in the children's laughter, maybe it was the sun streaming through the windows just right. Julia kicked off her sensible shoes and danced barefoot on the kitchen floor. Her new partner, a man she'd been cautiously dating for months, watched her spin and laugh and be utterly, completely free. Later, he told me that was the moment he fell in love with her. Not when she was being proper or impressive, but when she was being playful. In a world that seems to grow heavier by the day, a woman who can still laugh, who can still find reasons to smile, who hasn't let life's hardships steal her capacity for joy, she becomes unforgettable. This isn't about being naive or ignoring life's realities. It's about choosing lightness despite them. Playful lightness is particularly beautiful in women who've lived through real challenges because it reveals something profound about their character. It says, "Life has tested me, hurt me, disappointed me, and I still choose joy." That's not childishness, that's courage. Men are drawn to this quality because it's contagious. After a lifetime of responsibility, pressure, and the weight of expectation, being around a woman who can still play, who can still tease, who can still find wonder in small moments, it reminds them of who they used to be, who they could be again. This playful lightness doesn't disappear with age unless we let it. Your laughter might be quieter now, but it can be deeper. Your play might be gentler, but it can be more meaningful. Every moment you choose joy over cynicism, curiosity over bitterness, you become more beautiful, not less.
So if you've made it this far, you now hold in your hands 5 qualities that men quietly find unforgettable in a woman. Your authenticity, your warmth, your quiet confidence, your graceful boundaries, and your ability to still laugh after everything life has thrown at you. Notice what's not on this list: perfect skin, a certain dress size, or turning back the clock. These qualities don't fade with time, they deepen. They don't require maintenance, they require courage. And they don't make you attractive to every man, they make you irresistible to the right man. A beautiful woman isn't measured by years, she's revealed by how deeply she's lived them. Every experience, every joy, every heartbreak has shaped you into someone unique, someone irreplaceable, someone worthy of a love that sees and celebrates exactly who you are. The most beautiful people I've known are those who have known trials, have known struggles, have known loss, and have found their way out of the depths. As Elizabeth Kubler-Ross reminds us. What quality from today's video resonates most with you? Or do you have questions about rediscovering your own beauty after 60? Don't hesitate to share in the comments below. And before you move on to watch more tips for love after 60, check out the videos I've linked in the description. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss another moment of truth about love, attraction, and emotional connection after 60. And I'm Vernon. Thanks for watching my video.